As millennials
like
and Gen
this one too.
Xers become more established, because Este, we both spoke about how we've marked our time in our careers because we're pretty much the same age. I mark my sort of career and time through when Pearl Jam's 10 album came out. That's showing my age. But as we become more established, what impact do you see the next gen philanthropists having on the philanthropic sector over the next 10 to 20 years? And you sort of touched on it earlier, which was about, maybe some people don't have as much disposable income or to give. What's your sort of vision of the future?
Yeah, I'm actually going to switch tack first and say, well, I think one of the really interesting things is as my generation comes into a lot of inherited wealth, what they choose to do with that money. So you'll see some of the big foundations, or even some of the the baby boom generation who've set up PAFs. They as the founder and the controller, they'll have specific ideas around what they want that PAF to do or what they want to do with their money. But as the next generation takes it on, being that one step removed, there's a very different take. You don't have that same sort of, and I'll say patriarchal power, because generally it has been a man that's sitting behind many of those large sums of money. To see what the next generation does with it, I think they're going to be looking for a lot more on the social impact side. It's probably already there, but it's being then able to tell that story. I think there's also, again, huge generalisations, a strong desire to contribute amongst our generation beyond work. So they're looking for value in their work and in their work outside of, and in their work outside of their paid work. And I think as those two start to merge, they'll see, the value that they bring to work tied in with the value that they bring outside of work as well. Being, again, huge generalisations, more entrepreneurial or having permission to be entrepreneurial. There's going to be a lot more maybe small to medium companies themselves, and it's if you look at the JBWI report, it's the small to medium companies who have a bit more scope to give to the arts sector as well. But I think it's when I said that our my generation doesn't necessarily have as much to give, they don't have as much to give at this time in their life, but in 10 to 20 years they're going to be the ones with the money, and that's why there's so much value in building the audience and building the network with that younger generation now, because they're going to be your supporters in 10 to 20 years. The question to solve is, how do you efficiently engage that generation when they're not actually going to be, there's not a huge return on investment right now. And I think some of those, using board members or building networks that sort of self-generate are probably one way to do that. When I look at my friendship group, it's we're all very focused on giving back to the sector or the community in some way. I might just be living within a little bubble of like-minded people, but I do think there is potential for that to apply more broadly.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I'll leave it there.